All right, hi everybody. So for this question, we're supposed to use the top three functions here, so f of x, g of x, h of x. And we're going to put them together in unique ways to produce graphs 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so down below in the question says the graph with the equation, and then we've got some examples there is, and so we just have to kind of mix and match them here. Okay, so let's take a quick look at, for example, graph 1. Now, notice if we go up to f of x, g of x, and h of x, notice the roots here, the zeros of the function. F of x has a 0 at 2, g of x has a 0 at the origin at 0, and h of x has a 0 at 1. Now there's other bits of information that we can pull out of there, like for example, f of x has a negative slope, g of x and h of x both have positive slopes. But it turns out that to make the connections that we need to here, we don't even need to think that deeply about this. Look at graph 1. Look at the multiplicities of each of those roots there. They're all 1. Okay? But if you look at graph 2, there's a multiplicity of 2 right here. In graph 3, there's a multiplicity of 2 right here. And in graph 4, there's a multiplicity of 2 right there. Now notice how they're changing. First of all, graph 2 has the root with a multiplicity of 2 at 2. Well, that corresponds to f. So that's basically going to be f squared. Graph 3 has the multiplicity of 2 root there at 1. So this is going to be h of x squared. And then graph 4 has got the 0 with a multiplicity of 2 at the origin. Well, that's going to be g squared. And once you've looked at it like that and understood it to be that way, it turns out this is actually pretty straightforward. Graph 1 is going to be the graph where all of them have a multiplicity of 1. Well, that's down here. Now look at the first one here, f of x times g of x times h of x squared. Well, we've already established that that's 3, graph 3. That's where h is squared there. That's where that root 1, there's 0 there, has a multiplicity of 2. In the second graph here, we've got f of x is being squared. Well, f of x has got a root at 2. Now, notice that in the second one here, it's just f of x squared times g of x. There is no h. So we shouldn't be seeing a root at 1. And in graph 2, it turns out we don't. And so there we go, 3, 2. And actually, this leaves us with only one other choice. So it's pretty easy to fill out this last one here. But just take a look. It's supposed to be g squared. And again, if we look back at the graph 4, that's what we anticipated. It was g squared. And so that's my answer here, 3, 2, 1, 4.